Welcome to my channel, Worth. Old Coin State is best top 3 coins soon you want to miss. We're diving into the world of American coins. Please don't skip this video, so let's get it started. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Cent, also known as the 1945 1-cent coin, from the United States, is a historically significant and symbolically rich copper coin minted during the final year of World War II, representing a period of deep transformation in both American and global history. Struck by the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco's Mint Mark, this coin belongs to the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The obverse of the coin features a bust of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose design was chosen in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth and later became an enduring national symbol of unity and justice. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" appear above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1945 to the right. Coins minted in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while coins from Denver and San Francisco display a D or S mint mark under the date. The reverse of the coin features the classic wheat ears design, with 2 stylized sheaves of wheat curving along each side of the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, topped by the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The 1945 cent was minted in massive quantities to support America's growing economy and war effort. At that time, coins were essential to commerce, rationing, and troop payments both domestically and overseas. The Philadelphia Mint produced 1,040,515,000 coins. The Denver Mint made 266,268,000. And the San Francisco Mint added 181,770,000, bringing the total mintage to nearly 1.5 billion coins. These production figures make the 1945 cent one of the most common in the Wheat Cent series. Yet its significance lies not in rarity, but in its timing and historical context. It was a coin that passed through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, nurses, and students during a time when the U.S. was transitioning from war to peace. The coin is a tangible artifact of wartime America, as it circulated in an era marked by victory in Europe and the Pacific, the dropping of the atomic bombs on Japan, and the creation of the United Nations. The 1945 cent was composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a return to the traditional bronze alloy that had been briefly replaced by zinc-coated steel in 1943 due to copper shortages during the height of the war. These bronze cents weigh 3.11 grams, have a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a plain edge. Over time, circulated examples of the 1945 cent often darkened or developed a patina, but uncirculated examples maintain their original red or red-brown luster, which significantly influences their collector value. As no proof, coins were struck. In 1945's proof production was paused from 1943 to 1949. All surviving 1945 cents are either business strikes or special mint states preserved by collectors. Numismatically, the 1945 wheat cent is common, particularly in circulated condition, where it usually holds a value of 2 to 10 cents, depending on grade and mint mark. However, high-grade uncirculated pieces, especially those with full red coloration, road, and no visible wear, are prized by collectors. In Mint State 65 Road MS 65 Road, a 1945 cent can be valued around $10–20, with some MS 66 or MS 67 examples certified by NGC or PCGS exceeding $50 to $150 or more, especially from the San Francisco and Denver mints. Error varieties, including off-center strikes, double dies, and repunched mint marks RPMs, are also known and can raise a coin's market interest and value. From a historical viewpoint, the 1945 Lincoln cent represents the closing chapter Of World War II, a time of victory, loss, hope, and the beginning of a new world order. Abraham Lincoln's image served as a moral anchor to the American public in the midst of the most devastating war in history. As the country celebrated the end of the war in Europe, V-Day in May 1945 and Japan VJ Day in August 1945. These copper coins remained in the pockets of millions, used for everything from buying food to sending mail to loved ones overseas. This makes the coin an important relic of wartime sacrifice and home front endurance. Furthermore, with the return of veterans, the GI Bill, and the baby boom soon to begin, the 1945 cent was part of the financial tools that powered America's post-war economic boom. In terms of collecting, many enthusiasts today pursue the full date and mint mark set of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. The 1945 issues are crucial to completing this set and are often targeted in red road condition, which is harder to find due to copper's tendency to tone over time. While not a rarity in quantity, its value lies in quality and context. For coin roll hunters, hobbyists, and history buffs, the 1945 cent represents an affordable yet meaningful connection to a defining moment in global and American history. Next, the 1951D Lincoln Wheat Cent. A 1-cent coin minted in the United States and bearing the D mint mark for the Denver Mint, is a classic piece of mid-20th century American coinage. Struck during the post-World War II era, this coin reflects the nation's economic recovery, patriotic sentiment, and industrial growth. The Lincoln Cent series, introduced in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, in honor of his 100th birthday. The obverse front of the 1951D cent features the bust of Lincoln facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, appear at the base of Lincoln's shoulder in some issues, notably after 1918. Around Lincoln are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1951 on the right, followed by the D mint mark, indicating it was produced in Denver, Colorado, one of the 3 U.S. mints active at the time, along with Philadelphia, no mint mark, and San Francisco S. The reverse back of the 1951D cent carries the iconic wheat ears design. Used from 1909 to 1958, it features 2 stylized stalks of wheat curving along the left and right edges, symbolizing American agriculture and productivity. Between them are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus, unum, out of many, one along the top rim. This rustic, simple reverse was eventually replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial, designed to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. But the original wheat design remains one of the most beloved and collectible motifs in U.S. coin history. The wheat cent had already been in use for 42 years and was a familiar and trusted element in everyday commerce. With its symbolic portrait of Lincoln and wheat sheaves, the coin linked American ideals of freedom, unity, and labor, themes especially resonant during the post-war period. In terms of composition, the 1951D cent is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a bronze alloy used for most U.S. cents from 1864 until the 1982 transition to zinc-based coins. The coin weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a plain, smooth edge. This was still the era of heavy, durable cents with strong copper content, giving the coin a distinct reddish-brown hue when uncirculated, though most circulated examples darkened over time. The high copper content also gives it value beyond face value due to metal content. Although it is illegal to melt U.S. pennies for scrap, in terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck a substantial total of 625,355,000 coins in 1951. making it one of the more common wheat cents of the decade. The large mintage was driven by booming post-war economic activity and population growth, particularly in the western United States, where Denver minted coins were more widely distributed. Because of this high mintage, the 1950 1D wheat cent is not rare, but it is still a desirable collectible, especially in higher grades. Circulated examples are easily found in coin shops and collections, but uncirculated specimens, particularly those with original red luster graded MS65 road or higher, are more scarce and can carry higher market value in terms of collector interest. And values, the 1951D Lincoln wheat cent in circulated condition generally trades for 5 to 25 cents, depending on where. In mint state MS, values can increase significantly. A certified MS65 red coin might fetch $10 to $30, while higher grades like MS66 road or MS67 road could reach over $100 or more, especially if graded by NGC or PCGS. Proof coins were not struck in Denver, only Philadelphia, so no 1951D proof exists. However, error coins from this year, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or e-punched mint marks RPMs, are of special interest to error collectors and can be significantly more valuable. The historical context of the 1951D Lincoln cent is rich with meaning. America in 1951 was transitioning from World War II recovery to the Cold War era, facing international tensions, Korean War, Soviet competition, as well as domestic changes like suburban expansion and technological innovation. Coinage remained an essential part of daily life, and the penny, though low in value, carried great symbolic weight. Lincoln, the great emancipator, remained a revered figure representing unity, perseverance, and justice, ideals echoed in a country navigating global leadership and internal growth. These tiny copper coins passed through the hands of millions of Americans, schoolchildren, soldiers, workers, and families, and became part of their everyday economic lives, buying newspapers, candy, postage, and much more. Next, the 1953D Lincoln wheat cent, a small but historically rich American coin, represents the enduring legacy of both Abraham Lincoln's memory and the robust design of early 20th century U.S. coinage, minted in Denver, Colorado. This 1 cent piece bears the D-Mint mark under the date 1953 and belongs to the Wheat Reverse Lincoln cent series, which spanned from 1909 to 1958. The obverse features the iconic right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, who was commissioned to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth in 1909. This made the Lincoln cent the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, a dramatic departure from the classical imagery used on coins prior to the 20th century. Surrounding Lincoln are the national motto "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left, and the date 1953, with the D-Mint mark to the right. The reverse of the coin retains the elegant and humble wheat ears design, with 1 cent and United States of America boldly struck in the center, flanked by 2 stylized wheat stalks, a tribute to American agriculture, productivity, and growth. Above the denomination, the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," out of many. One ties the coin to the foundational values of the nation. The 1953D cent was minted during a time of American post-war prosperity and political stability, under President Dwight D. Eisenhower's leadership. The country had emerged from World War II into a booming industrial and consumer economy, and small denomination coins like the penny were a daily necessity in commerce, used in vending machines, postage, stores, and transit systems. The Denver Mint, one of the 3 active U.S. mints at the time alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco, produced a staggering 700,515,000 Lincoln cents in 1953. making it one of the more heavily struck years in the wheat cent series. Because of this high mintage, the 1953D cent remains common in circulated condition, though uncirculated and high-grade specimens remain sought after by collectors, especially in Red Road Mint state. The coin's metal composition is the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving the coin a warm reddish hue when freshly struck. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and has a plain edge. Though its face value was only 1 cent, its copper content in later years prior to melting restrictions gave it intrinsic material worth exceeding its denomination. However, it is illegal to melt U.S. coins for scrap metal today. By 1953, the Lincoln wheat cent had already become a familiar and trusted coin in the American consciousness, its consistent design and patriotic symbolism giving it a sense of national pride and reliability during times of social and technological change. The numismatic value of the 1953D Lincoln cent depends heavily on condition, while circulated examples are worth 2 to 10 cents. Depending on where, uncirculated specimens can be far more valuable. A mint state MS-65 road coin. One that has retained its original copper-red luster with no wear may be worth $5 to $20 or more, and those graded MS-66 or MS-67 road can command $50 to over $100, especially if certified by respected grading services like NGC or PCGS. Proof coins were not produced at the Denver Mint. Those were struck only at Philadelphia in 1953. Nevertheless, collectors often look for special varieties, such as RPM's repunched mint marks or die cracks, which increase the value and desirability of specific specimens in historical context. 1953 was a transitional period in both American politics and popular culture. President Eisenhower had just taken office in January, bringing in a calm, stable government after the Truman era. Internationally, the Korean War was nearing its end, and the Cold War tensions between the U.S. and Soviet Union were intensifying. Domestically, this was the era of suburban expansion, baby boomers, and the rise of television. Amid these sweeping changes, the humble penny remained a staple of everyday transactions, quietly reflecting the trust, unity, and economic vigor of the American system. It symbolized a continuity of values embodied in Lincoln's legacy as well as the practical side of the American economy. The 1953D wheat cent also holds appeal for those interested in complete, day-tanned mint mark sets of Lincoln cents, a popular goal for U.S. collectors, with 3 different mint marks in 1953 Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Completing that year's set is relatively easy and affordable, but acquiring high-grade, uncleaned, and fully red coins from that year can be more challenging. The coin also marks one of the later years of the wheat cent design, which would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, making the 1953D part of the final phase of a beloved design era that spanned half a century. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.